Hi, I'm Gebben Miles, professional sport and clay shooter, and I'm here with BNP to teach you how to break more targets and to show you what shells you should use to break those targets with. To find the proper shooting stance that works best for you, figure out how your lower body moves the best. For me, I like to have my feet just inside shoulder width apart so that I feel like I can move fluidly with my lower body. Some people feel more comfortable with a little wider stance. Some people feel more comfortable with a more narrow stance. So for me, what I do is I feel like I could jump. If I can jump, that puts me in an athletic position to move the gun very smoothly. The next part of your stance is figuring out your upper body position. For me, I like to put my butt behind my heels and my shoulders in front of my toes, so it looks like this. Once you have the proper posture for your shooting style, now we need to learn how to look at the target clearly. So for me, that means putting my eyes in a soft focus area where the target is going to flash. So that soft focus area is between where I can see it clearly hard focus and the machine itself. I let my eyes just kind of rest in that area, and when I see the flash of the clay, my eyes lock on hard focus. That means we can see the target clearly, and then I watch that target all the way to the break point and see it break. It's very important to see the target clearly, separate from your gun, so that you can break the target consistently. You can't shoot what you can't see. Pull! The next most important aspect of breaking more targets is learning how to match the speed of the target with the speed of your gun. So we need to utilize both our stance, our posture, and our eyes to be able to do that. So for me, my move starts in my lower body. When I say pull, I push off my legs. I see the target come from soft focus to hard focus. And then I pivot the mount, match the speed of the target, and watch it break. So if you can do this utilizing your legs into your upper body and have a soft grip on the gun, you'll be able to match the speed perfectly, watch the target break, and break more targets consistently. One of the aspects of this move is using a golf grip, or the concept of a golf grip, to hold the gun very softly between your hands. Ben Hogan talked about holding his golf club like a baby bird and a tube of toothpaste. So for me, I'm pretending that I'm just like Ben Hogan, baby bird, tube of toothpaste. Pull! Lots of people are curious about the differences between sustained lead and swing through. So this first technique I'm going to show you is sustained lead. The most important thing about setting up a sustained lead is to find your break point, your hard focus point, and put your hold point halfway between. So let's take a look at a target, and then I'll show you how to shoot it. Pull! Bang. So I want to kill this target right here. And I marked something in the distance. I've got a tree marked and something on the ground. Next thing is hard focus. I'm gonna put my eyes slightly out of the machine because my hard focus is right here. So I'm gonna put my hold point halfway back. right over the number 5 house. And a sustained lead looks like this. Pull! So that was a perfect sustained lead. The thing about a sustained lead is when I say pull, I gotta push off my legs, but keep my barrel quiet and patient. And when I feel it connect to the gun, I match the speed and pull the trigger. I'll do it a couple more times. Pull. Pull. Perfect. The next technique I'm going to show on the same target is a swing through. Now a swing through, you're going to watch the clay actually pass my gun, and since this clay is going down, I'm going to hold just under the line so I can have the swing through as close to the line as possible. Pull! On this particular clay, the only reason why I would shoot a swing through technique on it is if the target beat my setup. So I give my brain a little flexibility to move my break point out just a little bit further than I would as a maintain lead. And I'll show you a couple more swing through moves on this particular shot. Pull! Pull! So you can see a swing through needs to be just as smooth as a sustain lead. A lot of people will move their gun way too fast for a swing through technique. We want to go nice and smooth, just beating the speed of the clay. So remember, I'm going to do the same setup, but I'm going to have to shoot it a little bit later after it passes my gun. Pull! Pull! Let's talk a little bit about some of the ammo used in sporting clays. In America, you can shoot a 32 gram or ounce and an eighth shell. The rest of the world in sporting clays, you can only shoot a 1 ounce or 28 gram. I prefer to even suggest for kids to shoot a 24 gram, which is a 7/8 ounce. That's even lighter recoil than the 1 ounce or the ounce and an eighth. So let's look at some of these shells. This shell here is a 1 ounce, 7.5. You can also shoot an 8 or a 9 in sporting clays, but I prefer to stick with just one shell, which is a 1 ounce, 7.5. This is a F2 Mach that travels 1,300 foot per second. B&P also makes the sporting clay load in different speeds. You have a 1330, which is a high velocity. They also make a 1310, a 1260, and a 1200 in the sporting clay round. There's also a lighter shell that travels 1160 if you're looking for less recoil. B&P offers several different shells for sporting clay. They have the specific sporting clay line here in different speeds. They offer a 1330 foot per second speed, a 1310, a 1260, and a 1200 in their sporting clay line. You can get those in 7.5s, 8s, or 9s. The F2 Mach is a shell that I've been competing with this year that I absolutely love. They offer it in 1,300 foot per second. That may seem fast to you listening to that speed. However, B&P in all their shells offers the Gordon case, and the Gordon case is amazing. It's a recoil reduction system within the shell so that the shell actually feels softer than its actual speed. You can shoot more speed and feel less recoil. It's amazing. B&P produces shells in quality and consistency that's second to none. The components that they use are unbelievable. They have the top of the line shot, powder, and wads, which produces the most consistent patterning shell on the market. We've received a lot of questions about what type of targets are harder than others, and it depends on who you are and your style and feel for shooting. Some people struggle more with targets that are going away. Some people struggle more with targets coming into you. Almost everybody struggles with crossing targets at first just because they require more lead. But I would say what makes a target more difficult than another is the speed, distance, and trajectory that may be tough for that specific shooter. On this particular field, the hardest targets, in my opinion, are the number 3 target, which is a left to right target that's angled down. It has a lot of speed coming down as well. So it takes a lot of lead both in front and under. Another target is a right to left rising target that's basically the opposite angle. And that takes quite a bit of lead as well, just because of speed and distance. It's about 5 to 10 yards further than the 3 target. There's also a very fast and far rabbit target on this field, which is typically something that we don't see too often. Most rabbits are crossing. This rabbit's gonna be from right to left and it's going away from us. It's very fast and it's getting further and further as the trajectory moves on. And then there's also a very hard quartering away shot that is going to need to be treated more like a crosser than a quartering away shot, simply because of the speed, distance, and angle. So let's take a look at these and we'll shoot them. Pull. 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 We're gonna address some of the common mistakes that shooters make. And so Andrea here, he's gonna show me his normal shooting posture. So Andrea, I want you to pretend like you're just gonna shoot a couple crossers, a left to right and a right to left crosser. So why don't you get in your stance and your posture and let's see how we need to change it. All right, so that's decent. So go ahead and pretend like you're gonna shoot. All right, the thing that I don't love about this is well, I mean, that's pretty good. I would say it could be a little better if you got a little more narrow stance. Okay, not quite that narrow. Okay, yeah, there you go. Because his initial wide stance created a lot of tension through his whole body. So go ahead and stand wide again, okay? So, and then pretend like you're holding a gun. So I can see all this tension coming up through his body. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna cause his hands to be really, really fast and tight. So we wanna be a little bit softer with our whole stance and posture. So that stance is way better. Now feel like you could kind of jump. Yes, okay, now let your legs kind of be nice and soft like that, yep. And stick your butt behind your heels, shoulders in front of your toes, yep. Okay, now that stance and posture is much better. Let's pretend like you're gonna shoot. Okay, now I can already see less tension through your body. Now let's bend this elbow a little bit. Keep bending it. Yep, so if I gave you this gun, okay, go ahead and put the gun up there. Nice. Now the next common mistake that people make when they actually have the gun up and they're gonna shoot the clay is their eyes will start locked on the target and then they'll check the bird and the barrel relationship. So if you can see this bead at the end of my gun, as the target's flying towards the gun, a lot of people will look at this bead. And if you look at the bead, everything is gonna stop and you're either gonna shoot behind or stop and push your hands too fast. Now that's accentuated if you have a really tight, wide stance and you have a lot of tension in your hands. If you have tension in your hands, it's gonna enhance your eyes to wanna check something out there, check the bead, and go really fast and choppy. So the key is to get this nice athletic stance, soft hands, smooth moves, right? And I want you to pretend like you went back to your old style real quick, okay? and I'm gonna give you this gun. Okay, there's a lot of tension going on here. Like I can see his knuckles are white. Okay, so let's turn your hand like this as well. Yeah, where this finger's on that side of the gun. Loosen up that grip, okay? Loosen your grip, soft. Okay, soft hands. Now let's get your stance closer together. There you go, that's better. Okay, let's bring this elbow in just a hair. Yes. Soft hands, go ahead and put your finger on the trigger. Nice and smooth. That looks way better. So this posture, that shooting stance is gonna be much better to go nice and smooth and soft. Now I want you to feel like you can turn off your lower body, right? Nice and smooth, just like that. Andrea, that looks great. So we went from a very wide, hard angle like this, where everything's tight, to nice and balanced and smooth and effortless. That looks great. Good job.
Thank you.
Absolutely.